This is actually becoming one of my favorite performance and lifestyle sneakers of the entire year. What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm reviewing the brand new Nike Zoom Pegasus 35 Turbo. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't yet. Once we hit 250,000 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a pretty awesome giveaway, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. Also make sure to give me a follow on Instagram and on Twitter at @RealSethFowler. I actually may have already said what the giveaway was going to be on Instagram Live, so if you guys were following me over there, you probably already know what it is. If you don't, stay tuned because I'm pretty excited about it. A few months ago, Nike added to the famed Pegasus running line with the brand new Pegasus 35. That shoe genuinely is a really solid running sneaker. In fact, it's one of my favorite on the market. It includes a full-length Air Zoom unit, and once you break it in, it becomes incredibly comfortable. Now, running is actually something that I've become more and more interested in because I've started doing it myself. Full disclosure, I haven't been doing it very long, and I'm definitely not very fast, but it's something that I've really started to gain an appreciation for. So because of that, when Nike introduced the Zoom Pegasus 35 Turbo, I was intrigued. They changed up the overall shape of the shoe, they changed up the materials on the upper, and they changed up the cushioning setup, which definitely is the most exciting part. And since the shoe dropped in that original mint colorway, people have really started to like the shoe, not just for performance wear, but also for casual lifestyle wear as well. And the reason for that is because the shoe is stupid comfortable. So without further ado, let's jump right into the review. Here it is, the Nike Zoom Pegasus 35 Turbo. Starting off with the materials of the upper, you've got this really thin black translucent mesh. The mesh itself isn't soft, but because it's so thin, it's very flexible and very breathable. It's also backed on the inside of the shoe by another padded fabric, so your foot's not right up against the mesh. A couple things I like about the mesh is that because it's so stiff, it does give the shoe a lot of shape and a lot of structure. It's also very durable, so you're not gonna wear this out very quickly. I've run in this shoe for about 5 days to a week, and I've run in a ton of different conditions, and it really seems to almost like repel water and repel dirt, which is pretty incredible. I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure if it has a coating or the mesh is just really tight so things can't really seep into it, but for whatever reason, it's been great. Running up the center of the toe, you've got this black piece of fuse overlay for added structure, but honestly, I think it's just there for visuals. On the original mint colorway, the stripe comes in sort of a contrasting pink rather than this black and black look. It also doesn't seem to add any sort of stiffness to the toe, so I think it's purely aesthetic. Moving up the shoe, you find your Flywire lacing system in white. I love the Flywire on this shoe because it gives me a really excellent fit. Like no matter how I want the shoe to fit, whether it's looser or tighter or whatever the case may be, it adapts to that. It's great. Around the Flywire eyelets, you've got some more black fuse overlay for added durability. This colorway comes with flat black laces that match the upper perfectly because they're black and the upper is black. Just beneath the laces, you have a semi-detached tongue in black. And on the tongue, you've got the name of the shoe printed in white in case you forget what you're wearing. Inside the sneaker, you've got this black mesh sock liner, which is nicely padded around the ankle. Honestly, lockdown and padding were great on this shoe. I had absolutely no complaints. The insole of the shoe comes in green with running and the Nike check printed in black. As for sizing, the Pegasus 35 Turbo does seem to fit very true to size. Unlike the regular Pegasus 35 that does seem to fit a little bit big, this guy seems to fit perfect. I had no complaints whatsoever. It is an ever so slightly more narrow shoe, so you are gonna have a little bit of tightness around the midfoot, especially when you first put on the shoe. But that really wasn't that big of a deal, and the length of the shoe is great. I say go true to size. However, it never hurts to go into your local sneaker store, try on a pair for yourself just to make sure the sizing is right for you. As for the overall comfort of the upper, it's great. I have no complaints. It fits really well, it's really soft. Even after a pretty long run, at least for me, it still feels great. I had no problems with comfort whatsoever. Continuing back on the shoe, on the lateral side, you have this white printed Nike swoosh that sort of spills over onto the midsole. Printing quality on the mesh isn't amazing, and it's definitely not amazing on this sort of crinkled midsole either. It kind of has this very sort of like DIY feel to it. Not a bad thing. I don't think it's ugly. I know it's hard to print on mesh, but it's not really up to what I assume Nike standards should be. On the medial side, instead, you've got this sort of like pressed on or fuse overlay Nike swoosh in white, which seems to have come out a lot better. Moving around to the heel of the shoe, you've got this black fuse overlay with a 3M stripe. And then rounding off the heel, you've got this sort of pointed pull tab that sort of echoes the heel of the shoe. Moving down the sneaker is where the shoe gets interesting. First off, this midsole is stupid comfortable. Like that's the only way I can describe it. It just feels so good underfoot. This midsole is comprised of two different materials sitting one on top of the other, and you can tell where one material ends and the other material starts by not only the difference in color on the toe of the shoe, but also the split line that runs all the way through the middle of the midsole. The top half of the midsole that comes with this sort of black to gray fade is actually Zoom X, and the bottom half that comes in all white with ironically the Zoom X logo on it is actually all made up of Nike React. So this midsole is made up of Zoom X on top of Nike React, which just makes this incredibly comfortable cushion. Zoom X is the softer of the two cushions, and you can probably tell by how much more creased it is than the Nike React. Nike React is also soft, but it is a little bit more stiffer and a little bit more durable than Zoom X. So the Nike React provides some nice stability and gives you a nice rebound on your stride. I can't stress enough how much I like this cushion setup. This is definitely by far my favorite performance cushion setup I've ever run in. But even for lifestyle, I think Boost finally has a competitor that might actually even be, I hate to say it, but might be more comfortable than Boost. At least in my opinion. You know, there's gonna be a bunch of Boost heads out there that just are always gonna be Boost stands, and there's nothing I can do about that. But this legitimately is up there with Boost, if not a little bit more comfortable. Performance-wise, I definitely prefer this to Boost because it isn't as sort of mushy feeling, but comfort-wise, I guess it'd be a toss-up. The one thing I'm not a huge fan of on this midsole setup is just how easily this foam creases. I've only worn this shoe for about a week and it's already extremely creased, and that's not any indicator about its durability. Like, it still feels exactly the same. It's not any less soft or any less durable. It just doesn't look as nice. One last little interesting detail about the midsole is this sort of peak on the heel. This swept peak is taken from running shoes like the 4%, and it's even seen on other sneakers like the Vapor Street. It's meant to help with heel strikes and transitions, and it definitely feels good underfoot. When I was actually looking for a difference in the way this swept heel felt, I noticed it, but when I was just walking in the shoe or running in it and I completely forgot about the way this heel sweeps, I didn't even notice it. That could be this design detail really doing its job, or it could just be that it doesn't really make that big of a difference, but whatever the case may be, I'm not mad at it. Finally, moving to the bottom of the shoe, you've got this gray rubber outsole on the heel and on the forefoot. That black racing stripe detail also continues all the way from the upper of the shoe down to the bottom of the sneaker. And then in the midfoot of the shoe, Nike actually left the React cushion exposed, which seems to be something that they do on all their running sneakers, and I'm not sure what the reason for that is. Maybe it allows the foam to compress a little bit more. I'm not sure the reason, but it didn't seem to be that big of a deal. Overall, the $180 Nike Zoom Pegasus 35 Turbo is an excellent sneaker. Yes, it is pricey at 180 bucks, but I think the performance benefits that the shoe gives you and the fact that it's just so comfortable is worth the price tag. Visually, I don't mind the sneaker either. I think it's a really clean looking shoe, especially in this white and black colorway. Yes, the swoosh is a little bit messy on the lateral side, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this is quickly becoming one of my favorite sneakers of the entire year. That pretty much wraps up the video for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love to know your thoughts on the Nike Zoom Pegasus 35 Turbo and whether you're planning to grab a pair for yourself, so make sure to leave those comments in the comment section down below. Also, make sure to subscribe for the 250,000 subscriber giveaway and give me a follow on Instagram and on Twitter at RealSethFowler for more information. Also, once again, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe down below if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.